I agree with that. But there's just such a lack of courage. I mean, one of the things that I've told people is I'm not afraid to tell people the truth. And one of the essential truths that people need to hear is that this is an epidemic of irresponsibility. A country cannot live above its means forever. And they can't even live above their means in the medium term, because you will hit the wall. And then the consequences are much more severe than if you stop it ahead of time. And so I'm willing to tell people the truth at the risk of not being popular or not getting elected, perhaps. But I don't think that we're at a point in time where people want to be lied to anymore. Mm-hmm. They want to hear the truth. And that's why we're going to remove Rush Holt from office.
Okay. So you're going to have a truth-based campaign?
Yes.
You know, I heard you say yesterday to the Independence Tea Party interview that the guys with the black hats are going to come and paint you with the class warfare and the Wall Street. And what you wanted to do was to bring the debate back to the facts.
Mm-hmm.
One of the characters in your novel, Lucas
Orr,
or Lucas Orwin, as it was told Nate not to show his emotions.
Right.
Do you think a fact-based or issue-based campaign is enough to win? Or is there some way you're going to have to appeal to, whether it's the class warfare is going to be an emotional debate, mm-hmm. It's not going to be an intellectual debate. And I think you do very well with intellectual debates. You know, the issues page of your website, once you get beyond the pretty graphics, is, you know, like master's or PhD thesis type of writing. Is that going to appeal to the average guy?
So you ask, as somebody who's spent a lot more time in this than I have, you ask a very good question, which I'm constantly reassessing, because you're right, people have a limited bandwidth. Not that they have a limited interest, but they have a limited bandwidth. They have so many other things going on in their lives. They have a limited bandwidth, even if they're concerned, to digest all this stuff. And one of my challenges is taking this and distilling it to a level where people understand. And, you know, I'll tell you, one of my first meetings, I went into New York and met with a lot of financial services professionals and said, hey guys, I used to be you. And the fact of the matter is, I want you to know why I'm running, and I want you to have a stake in my campaign. Here's why. And then I went in, you know, some of that PhD level issue stuff. And these are, you know, white collar professionals in New York, and they were like this. Yeah. They were dozing off. And my buddy came up to me afterwards and says, man, you gotta dial it down. So I've been trying to do that. And here's what I've come up with. Rush Holt is waging a war on jobs. It's as simple as that. This is a guy who believes, let's call it the Holt Doctrine, that there should be no limit to the size or cost of government. And call it either misguided or compassionate, whatever his motivation is. The end result of that ideology is that the government and the cost of government and the encroachment of government crowds out the ability of the private sector to do what they need to do, which is to invest in their business to create jobs. Okay? Still to that?
You're putting me to sleep, okay. You're putting me... No, I agree with everything that you're saying.
The government is crushing our ability to create jobs.
Rush Holt puts a hard hat on, gets in an ad and stands with a bunch of union guys, and he just blew your argument out of the water.
Then why, since he and Nancy Pelosi took over the House, has the unemployment rate gone from 4.5% to 10%? It's a direct consequence of the war on jobs.
I don't think you're going to win this race in a debate. You're going to win the debate. You've already won the debate. Mm-hmm. You know what?
I'm just hoping there will be a debate.
Well, there's not going to be.
To this point,
Rush Holt is not going to get on stage with you anywhere. Maybe if you show up at the American Legion on Route 36 in Leonardo on Monday at the end of the Memorial Day parade. Okay. But when he sees you, he's going to run. He'll be more afraid of you than he is of Rhoda Shodish. But there's not going to be a debate. You have to connect with people with where they lived, and they're not going to listen to what you say. You've already won the debate. There's not going to be a debate. Rush ain't showing up for a debate. Just like you wouldn't talk to me in March. You know, he's got no upside in talking to you. you're smarter than he is, and
Well, look,
yeah.
here's what people understand. When they scrimp and save to send their kids to college, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and these kids come home, they say, hey, Mom and Dad, I'm home, I'm living in the basement.
Yeah.
They understand there's a problem, okay? When they look at public sector employees and see the average federal government worker makes $120,000 a year, and the average private sector worker makes $60,000 a year, they say, hey, there's a problem here. When they look at the federal treasury and see us borrowing trillions of dollars and borrowing it from our economic adversaries like China and Russia, they say, hey, there's a problem here. So let's dial it down another level. There's a problem here. These guys caused it, and I'm here to fix it. Is that better?
You're getting there.
All right.
You're getting there. When Chris Christie ran one of the most brilliant campaigns in New Jersey history last year, that a conservative Republican could win in Blue Jersey, and he was criticized all throughout the summer for not being specific. He had a list of 88 things he was going to do on his website, and when people asked him for specifics, he'd say, "Well, go look at my website." And what he did was went out and he talked to people and over kitchen tables and in living rooms and just shared his experience and what he wants to do. And I think you need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can I tell you a secret?
Yeah.
That's exactly what I've been doing.
Okay.
Okay. So there is a great misperception out there that somehow I was anointed by some star chamber of guys in robes.
The New Jersey Tammany Hall.
Yeah, and that I wrote a big check, and that I'm just sitting at home sipping Chardonnay waiting to be elected. Okay, that couldn't be further from the truth. The fact of the matter is I've had to work harder, work smarter, and connect with people better than the other candidates. And that's what I've been doing from, the 5 county nominating conventions that I won. Okay, those are not anointed by party bosses. I mean, you're a municipal chair. You know how this thing works. You don't necessarily have sway over your county committee people. These people work long and hard, and they're entitled to their vote, and they're swayed by the personal connection. I learned that right on. If you shake somebody's hand and you tell them about your life, and then you ask them about their life, and you really care, they're probably going to support you, and that's what I did, and that's why I won. And that's what I'm doing. I mean, I'm at county fairs, I'm showing up at, barbecues uninvited, I'm marching in parades. I mean, I went to the Marlboro Memorial Day event and actually marched right behind Rush Holt with a group of 30-plus people in Supprel T-shirts, and he was turning around looking at us the whole time, barking at people around him, wondering where his people were, because he didn't have any.
Yeah.
And we literally beat him with feet on the street, and as he was shaking a hand here, we had 30 people going to that side and also covering the other side of the road. That's how you win.
Yeah, no, I hear it.
So I'm doing that.
I've heard you confidently say as an assertion that you're going to win.
I am going to win.
And this was about the 50th time I heard you say it. How do you know? What's your plan?
My plan is to deliver the manpower, the resources, and the message. And anecdotally, I've connected with thousands of people so far over the telephone, shaking hands, through my website, and that's data. And you can sense something in the data, that people are hungering for something authentic. Okay, they don't think what they have now from their representative is authentic. It's scripted, it's manufactured, it's controlled, but it's not authentic. And when they connect with me, they say, I think you're in it for the right reason. I may not agree with you about everything, but I think you're in it for the right reason. And if I can make enough of those connections, which I will between now and November, I will win their hearts and their minds and their votes. And so I don't have any doubt about it.
So you're going to be working really hard between now and November.
But I'm going to have a lot of help.
Yeah.
People like you.
Okay.